This is why you died.
Hello again, and welcome to This Is Why You Died, the horror show that's like a jilted lover. You can hang it from a meat hook and then chop it up and stick it in the fridge for midnight snacks and quickly heat it up for soup if guests come over. It's good for all occasions. And as always, I am Sir Ian Dangerous, aka your Uncle Frank, and I may have been watching too much Dahmer lately. Joining me are my fellow meat eaters,
lately,
the delectable Dan March of Madness and the well-seasoned RyanRossLIVE. Hello, gentlemen. Welcome to the show. Lately, all the time. It's on repeat when I go to bed. Hello, boys. Welcome.
Hello.
Welcome back. Welcome back to the show.
Welcome.
Here we are again to discuss horror movies. That's right. We are the horror show that chooses prompts at random from the 666 words and phrases in our buckets of the beast. And then we use those prompts to inspire us to choose horror movies, which we watch, and then we come back and discuss with all of you, our dedicated listeners. And this time, the prompt was chosen by the man himself, Dan Mark. No, Dan, you chose the prompt last time. Ryan, it's your turn. Look at you wearing that lovely shirt. But Dan, where can people get that shirt from?
Well, they can get that shirt. They can also get this beanie right here that I'm wearing on my head.
You guys are merch-tastic.
So if you go to beacons.ai/TIWYD pod, that's where you can get all things for this show. Links to follow us on social media. You can stream us. You can watch us on YouTube. You can visit our store to buy our cool merch. And then also, Ryan's going to tell us about our Patreon that you can find there too.
Our Patreon is special. You guys can join the Patreon. You can support the channel. It really means a lot to us, and it helps us amplify the show. We've got checkpoints of if we reach certain milestones of Patreons, it unlocks new types of content or certain situations for us to create content within. And then obviously all of our perks come with benefits such as merch discounts, bonus content, extended episodes, the before and after of every episode with us chopping it up with each other. And then of course we have our dedicated benefactors, which is our highest tier and involves a shout out. So CG, thank you for your support.
Our first ever benefactor. Awesome stuff. And of course, if you are a patron, you can also try to kill us because we're going to be doing Dead by Daylight streaming this month. And two lucky patrons will get to hang out with us and try to kill us or try to survive us as we stream.
Hang us on meat hooks, apparently.
Hang us on meat hooks and save us for midnight snacks. That's right. I've never played this game, so I have no idea how it works. But yes, something like that. So join up for Patreon. Thanks for listening to all of our business before we get into the show. We really appreciate it. So like, share, subscribe, all that stuff. You know how it works. It's the modern era.
Show.
We got to do this stuff. It helps us grow. Please help us grow this show. It's a lot of fun. We want to grow with you guys.
We like friends.
But we like friends. And speaking of friends, Ryan, you have the prompt for today, and it is the opposite of friendly. What is the prompt that you picked? And what's the movie that we watched for this show?
So I had Revenge, not Betrayal, which I had previously, but Revenge.
Yes.
And I decided to go with the classic. We watched Carrie because I've heard that this one is quite the story of revenge. And prior to actually watching it, really the only thing I knew was about the dance and I knew it rained blood on someone or everyone, and I knew that it was an iconic scene in which I knew Carrie had powers.
Right. Okay, so you did know that.
I knew
some stuff.
Really, all I knew was that it gets referenced all the time. I feel like it's a movie that's referenced a lot, and so and a lot of other horror movies point to Carrie a lot of the time. And so I knew she had powers, and I knew that there was a blood raining like prom high school scene, and that she was bullied. But really, outside of that, that was essentially all I knew. I didn't know the story. I didn't know how we got there. I thought that the dance was the end, which is close. It's not quite the end.
Yeah. It's the climax.
Yes.
It's sort of,
And
so,
if you will. I went in pretty blind, but I knew that this one was a big one, and obviously one that we needed to do at some point. So here we are.
And we're getting all the classics out of the way in the first couple seasons of this show. And another classic, another very influential one that came around at a time when a lot of classic horror movies popped out. The success of Rosemary's Baby and The Exorcist paved the way for Stephen King to write and publish his first novel, and that was Carrie. and they decided to option it. Paid him 20. It was his first published novel.
This.
He was given $2,500 for the rights to this movie. That's how long ago this was.
Was this the book that he threw away that his wife then grabbed out of the trash and said, "You need to publish this"?
It is indeed, Mr. March of Madness.
Yes.
He wrote 3 pages, and it was the shower scene, and he felt so uncomfortable writing it, and like he couldn't relate because, well, he's not female, and it's a scene about getting your first menstruation and what that feels like to be tormented for that by the other girls. And he threw it away because he was like, I can't write from this perspective. I had this idea, but it's not working. And Tabitha King pulled it out of the trash and said, I'll help. Let's get this done. Let's work on this more. And so, yeah, she helped inspire him and give him a female perspective. And that's where his first novel came from. And it was just off to the races from there for Mr. King. Got him out of the trailer where he was living with Tabitha and the 2 kids at the time. So, yeah, pretty big momentous movie and a momentous moment for Stephen King, as this was the beginning of his career.
As they say, behind every successful man is a woman who's helping him be successful.
And I think Tabitha's been given a lot of credit over the years. She's definitely an incredible woman and has helped a lot for him. Dan, what's your experience with Carrie? You've seen it before, I'm assuming.
I've seen it before. I think just once, maybe twice, and then of course I've seen the remake with Chloe Morantz. I forget how to pronounce Chloe Grace. Yeah. So I saw the remake of that, and I also, I don't know why I did, but I watched Rage, Carrie 2, the sequel that they made too. So so I've seen a lot of the Carrie stuff. I can't remember if I've seen anything. Didn't they do a TV? Have they done a TV series too? I can't remember.
Well, they're about to. Your boy Mike Flanagan.
That's true. I know. I'm excited.
Currently working on a miniseries of Carrie, which I frankly think is the only time I've been excited to see more Carrie, because they can develop the relationships more, they can build up to it more, and also I would love to see them do some more of the book ending. The movie, obviously, we're gonna. Is it time for the spoiler alert? Let's spoil it. We're gonna spoil some stuff. Spoiler alert! Let's go.
Here it is. Listen to her.
Spoiler alert. All spoilers, including character deaths and plot twists, are now authorized. You have been warned.
Bam. Spoiler alert. Going forward, we're going to spoil the crap out of the book and the movie version of Carrie. If you don't know the basic story, it's pretty basic, but it's this poor, tormented, awkward girl in high school, and she's got telekinetic powers, and they push her too far, and she kills everyone. That's basically the story. She's got a crazy religious mom. That's about it. But in the book, at the end, the penultimate moments, she doesn't just blow up the prom where they dump pig bloods on her head to make fun of her. She walks around the entire town, blows up most of the town too.
Oh, really?
She blows the shit out of everything. It's not her bullies that find her and try to run her over. She goes and hunts their asses down and kills them.
Wow.
Yeah. Much more vicious in the book. And actually, Stephen King didn't really know how to end the book at first. He initially had her like growing horns and like tearing planes out of the sky and stuff. And his editor was like, bring it down. Let's bring it back. Make it smaller. Stephen King's a lot of things, but he is self-admittedly not a good ending writer. And he's actually said he likes the ending of the movie more than the book. And the book is actually even like, what do you call it? Epistolic, where it's partly like letters and like Dracula, like Bram Stoker's Dracula, was all letters going back and forth to people and clippings from like news, like magazines and stuff. So you kind of learn about everything secondhand. Whereas the movie's a traditional narrative. We're getting everything told to us one after another in episodic fashion or scene to scene. So very different experiences. I've only seen it, I think, once or twice very long ago, not one I've seen a lot. And I was glad to have seen it again. Dan, how many times had you seen the original?
Just
Carrie?
Once, I think.
Just the once.
Yeah, I think the one time. Yeah.
So all pretty fresh to the old Carrie. So let's dive into Carrie. We've given the spoiler warning. We've kind of talked a little bit about the book that it came from, the movie that it became. It was a very successful movie when it came out. It got nominated for Academy Awards. I think Piper Laurie and both Piper Laurie and Sissy Spacek were nominated. Neither of them won, but they did get nominated. But it was a big movie at the time. How does it hold up? That's always the question we start with. Like when we do these older movies, it's I personally think it's very dated and it kind of pulls down on it a little bit. But I'm wondering what you guys thought. Dan, I'm gonna throw it to you first because it was Ryan's movie. I'm gonna let him think about this for a second. Dan, what did you think of Carrie upon rewatch? How does it hold up?
Well, okay, so what I felt like the balance of tone is way off and weird at times. Like it's trying to be comedic at times. Like you could tell it's trying to be funny and quirky in scenes, and then it becomes serious again. And so it felt a little off to me until I kind of realized I was like, oh, Carrie feels like a prototype or an early structure to what 90s horror films with teens became, where they have these like horror, like there's this horror element going through, but they take breaks to be funny or to have a funny moment or whatever. And like the whole, like there's scenes that I was like, is this necessary? Like this feels way off. Like the scene of him going to get the tux. I was laughing. The tux scene is hilarious. It's like, this is really funny, but it feels so out of place. But then in the 90s with Scream and the movies that came after Scream, I was like, oh, this is that balance of like trying to have the fun and show the fun and the weirdness and the awkwardness of teen life and comedic moments mixed with the seriousness and the horror of what is being explored in it. And so it felt like I was like, Carrie sets up what the 90s horror movies became. That's what I noticed the second time. Yeah. And
it's weird in that tux scene. Why do they have like the two sentences that are fast forwarded? Like it's just a bizarre
that was
choice.
Weird. I thought, I was like, was that what I watched? But was that you guys saw that too? That was so weird.
Did. Well, honestly, throughout this whole movie, I think that there's a lot of really weird editing choices that I repeatedly struggled with. Not only is that one sentence sped up, there's a lot of times we get these really awkward cuts from scene to scene that like feel like they're really jumpy. Like the two that I distinctly remembered were when Carrie leaves to go to the prom and her mom is on the bed right after she leaves, and she starts to say something, and it cuts away from her so fast, we barely even get to hear what she says. And I'm like, whoa. Yeah. And then the other one was in a similar cut of all of the other girls that messed with her are in detention and doing the like exercises, and they have the music, and then they do pause it for a moment when the coach calls something out, which made sense, and they restart the music, making it seem like the scene's gonna go longer, and then the scene just cuts, and we cut to Carrie in the library, and it's like, whoa, like there's just some really strange editing decisions and the actual flow of the production that were really bothering me and like really taking me out of the movie repeatedly throughout the viewing. And I think like we've talked about movies that like with pacing in terms of like slow and whatever. I don't think that this one is particularly egregious anything. I think it leans a little on the slow side, but it doesn't feel like a ton happens in the middle of the movie. It feels like we have we have the initial event, and then we have a lot of kind of slow bouncing setup to what eventually ends up being the collapse and the climax and the like everything meeting its ultimate end. But a lot of the middle of the movie is just kind of meandering, and that doesn't help.
Which is funny because I feel like I'm off the top of my head, I'm thinking of like a lot of the scenes in the middle of the movie, and I don't think that there are many that are unnecessary. They all have something to do with the plot, but I do know what you mean, where it does feel a little limp through the middle. You were like, what are we leading to? And doesn't have like a propulsion to the movie really. And it doesn't help that, speaking to your point, Dan, with the comedic nature of it, when Piper Laurie, for example, read the script for the movie, she was retired from acting, and she thought it was a comedy, and she signed on to the movie thinking it was a comedy, a black comedy, because her character was so over the top. She kept cracking up between takes in this movie, doing such an over the top job with the mom, and now she's iconic, right? They're all gonna laugh at you. That's right. She's iconic in this movie, but at the time she thought it was hilarious. And there's a lot of stuff on this that feels really like kind of pushing over the top. And some of the times, like you said, De Palma just lets the tone go. Like some of the stuff with Travolta, I thought was absolutely being played for laughs. Like he's such a doof in this movie. I'm like, what were they on the day? What were they doing on set?
Yeah.
But again, like that's where I was like, just seeing the whole scene of like Travolta and the girlfriend like going to get the pig's blood, like that felt like an offshoot scene that you would see in those 90s slasher movies. Like you would see just like this random like 10-minute scene of like secondary characters doing something, and I was like, oh, this is what this feels like. And like particularly that scene of the working out scene, that I was like, what is this?
What's the music
for?
What's
And then
the music
finally when what's the actress's name? I forget her name, the one that gets kicked out, she gets like hit by the teacher.
Nancy Allen.
Nancy Allen, yeah.
Yeah.
Is she RoboCop's partner?
That's RoboCop's partner,
okay,
yes.
That's what I thought.
That's right.
But it's like, she's great, but like, I was like, oh, once
Great
she
hair.
fights back, the hair everywhere. Everybody's hair in this movie. It's
everyone's
incredible.
hair was phenomenal in
so
this
good.
movie.
Also, but it's like, these are teenagers? Like, what?
Yeah.
Really?
Oh no. I think the youngest one, I'm trying to remember who. I think Travolta was the youngest one at the time.
And he was 22.
He was 22. He was a
Jeez.
baby. The
But
oldest one
But to
was
Dan's
actually
credit, that first scene of them all actually being teenagers is really uncomfortable. But continue.
these better not be teens, because otherwise I gotta cover my eyes. My goodness, that's a lot of boobies. That's a lot of boobies in the girls.
So does the
shower.
Palma really love focusing on women? I haven't seen a lot of his movies, but like, man, this movie is very uncomfortable in parts. So I was like, are you trying to make softcore? Are you getting close to it? Like,
that
you're
shower
teetering
scene
over
was
it.
definitely
The whole shower
all
scene.
over that.
Well, and also the workout scene. But there,
The workout scene.
he is notorious for having a bit of a male gaze, right? Even the camera where she's like, I can see your dirty pillows. He's like, can we? Let's find out. Look.
I was like, he's really focusing on that. And then the mom called it out. I was like, oh, okay. All right.
Oh, no, now it's okay because Piper Laurie called it out.
Point.
Yeah.
Oh my God. But no, that's the thing. He is a little bit leering with his camera. But luckily, everyone's of age, if not more so. You got some people that are like Edie McClurg, who played kind of like the nerdy kid, right? The kind of the bigger nerdy girl who's awesome in this movie. And she actually made up all of her lines and just, stood out quite a bit in this movie because she just like grabbed every scene. And by the way, if you don't know who Edie McClurg is, look her up. You've seen her in every 80s movie ever.
Oh, Ferris Bueller's Day Off, yes?
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
Elvira's first movie, not Haunted Hills. That was her second movie.
Wow.
Elvira, Queen of
like
Darkness, whatever it was.
Honestly,
she was in
Dan,
everything.
I know that Ian doesn't like it, but Dan, I felt like she had to be the inspiration for Barb in Stranger Things.
Oh,
That aesthetic was
definitely.
so strong.
Yeah.
This movie, by the way, if you've ever watched Stranger Things, watch Carrie, because Stranger Things stole so much from this movie. The lighting, the colors, the cinematography. It's very Carrie heavy. And Edie McClurg definitely could be that character from season 1. Absolutely. She was 30, playing a high schooler. And everyone else is kind of in that range. Sissy Spacek herself was, I believe, she was born in 49, so she would have been 27 at the time, and she was on the older edge. Get this, the woman who played her teacher, whose name is Betty Buckley, I believe, 2 years older than Sissy Spacek when they filmed this movie.
Whoa, that's wild.
She played her teacher.
Sissy Spacek looks a lot younger than her.
She did. She younged up well. Actually, Amy Irving, who played her friend, the one that survives at the end, who played Sue, she was the first in line to play Carrie, and she was the one that De Palma wanted. And then Sissy Spacek came in to audition and had like messed herself up. And he's like, no, you're my Carrie. Never mind. And really quickly, while I'm doing like casting trivia, really quickly, William Catt, the guy that played Tommy, like the good boyfriend guy with the amazing hair, like everyone in this, Luke Skywalker. that close to being Luke Skywalker.
That's crazy.
Wow.
That close to being Luke Skywalker.
Okay, so were all the people that were in this at the time, were they as famous as we know them now? Like, were they like in the limelight or no?
Some of them were. Piper Laurie was still very famous at the time. She was an old Hollywood head. Travolta was only known from Welcome Back, Kotter. He was a TV
This
actor.
was one of his first
so he
movies.
had done
First
okay.
movie. Sissy Spacek was not really, she had done some stuff, but not a lot. This was kind of her breakout role too. But a lot of people in this movie, if they weren't known at the time, became known later or did stuff later. PJ Souls, who played the one mean girl with the bad bangs from Halloween. You might recognize her as one of the friends from Halloween. Nancy Allen, they all like RoboCop. They all went on, like a lot of people in this movie went on to have careers later, even if they weren't very well known at the time.
Again, that's what I'm saying. Like that was like a very 90s horror movie thing that happened too. Like you get these fresh faces, you put them in this movie, and then all of a sudden, boom. 3 or 4 years later, they're like making all the movies. You know, I feel like that's kind of that. Again, goes back to my point of what I noticed this time.
Well, and also you mentioned Travolta. This is one of his first films. I thought he looked like 30, and the fact that he was 22 is wild. But then on the flip side, like Tommy or whatever his name was, the boyfriend, there's a specific shot where he gets out of the car when he's like going to re-ask Carrie to the prom, and he's got the shades on. He tosses the address off to the side, and he gets out of the car and he's got these shades on. He takes them off. Before he takes the shades off, I was like, this looks like Brad Pitt in a wig. Like, this kid has that look. That's like, he just looks like Brad Pitt. But then once he takes the glasses off, you're like, okay, he looks like this one guy. But like with the shades, I was like, wow, he's got the Pitt look down.
He's got a thing.
Even though that they were older, I still felt like they captured the way that teenagers would act in those scenes, like especially when they're being questioned by teachers in offices, how they're like trying not to laugh and how they're like making eyes at each other, like I can't believe we're in this situation, like where you're you're in a serious situation, but you're also sort of joking about it too, like just to get through it, as like teenagers do. Like that felt very natural the way they captured that. I thought that was pretty good.
Yeah, and that really helps the movie because the movie really is, I think, mostly about high school trauma, if you will. Like as much as it is about kind of abuse and loneliness and isolation and revenge, it's also very much about being in high school and how horrific high school can be. I mean, this is, decades before Mean Girls. This is, and it's a little cliched, the kind of like high school that they portray. But at the same time, like, I don't know what your guys' high school was like, but I certainly saw some high school stuff in there where I was like, oh yeah, that's high school right there. So, but here's the thing. Was that the stuff that you carried with you guys to the end? Did you really feel like it kept that kind of high school carried through them? I'm going to pretend like I did that on purpose.
I know.
By the end, was it still about high school to you, or was it more about kind of this tragedy of this one girl? And if this is, it's funny, we're talking about horror movies being kind of more than just like blood and guts and horror movies. If this had come out 400 years ago, this would be a Shakespearean tragedy, right? The fall of one poor girl because of other people's missteps and mistakes and carelessness. Like what was it that carried through to the end for you, that high school trauma, or like a greater feeling of sympathy for Carrie?
I would say a little bit of both. Personally, I think that here's the thing. I think that it ultimately boiled down to three things. One, she was so close to just being fine, and it all came down to fucking Nancy's whatever, whatever that one bully. Like she is ultimately the trigger that causes everything to explode because she just can't get over herself. And that definitely stuck with me. Of like, wow, like it was almost all better. And then this one chick screwed it up for everyone. Two, the fact that the mom, I think, although very much a subplot, becomes very important to the downfall of all of this. And like, it becomes to like ultimately the resolution here of like how this all goes down ultimately then and relies on the mom too. And the home aspect, the fact that has such a terrible home life and so much pressure, and this like really twisted up mom that's guilting on herself and just absolutely projecting that onto Carrie for her entire life. That was the second thing. And then the third one was specifically the fact that they all break down. I couldn't tell if she was imagining the laughter at first, and then it's revealed that they are actually laughing. But like the pivot from them being like kind of shocked to them laughing, and just the cruelty of the mob mentality and like how it all comes crumbling down. Those I felt like were the three big things that kind of boiled down to me of like, oh God, like this just all went wrong. And
did you think they were actually laughing? Because I took it as part of it was some of them were laughing, but she was just so out of it mentally. Like she extrapolated that other ones were laughing too, that they were all laughing. I think that she was like, do you think they were projecting?
I thought that at first, but then they like pan over like when she shuts the doors and some of them are still laughing. And so it was unclear for me, but Dan, I cut you off.
You know what, I think, okay, this is probably terrible for me to say, but that could just be a filmmaking error. In my opinion, is that they might have just been shooting some scenes where she's supposed to be seeing them laughing. I really think that they were horrified. I think everybody was horrified. She started hearing her mother's voice, then imagining them all laughing, and that's when she freaked out. And they started freaking out too because they couldn't get out. So because I was like, this is so weird that they're showing the laughing through this visual lens of like, this is what she's seeing. And then they cut, and then they're really laughing. And it didn't make sense to me. I was like, why are they actually turning to laughing? Like, because maybe one or two people actually laughed, but that's where it could just be that they needed to use cuts where they were filming two different kind of scenes or something.
Yeah. Or again, it's De Palma losing the plot when it comes to tone in the movie, right? Where he does a couple of times. And it was early in De Palma's career. He only had $1.8 million to work with on this movie. It's why they had to cut blowing up the town. He didn't have the money to work with it. And actually, here's an interesting thing he cut. So one of the things a lot of people don't know about Carrie is that originally the house imploding on itself at the end was not how it was supposed to go. In fact, there was an early scene, and this is a little bit from the book, where stones randomly were pelting the house where she lived. And whether this was as a result of her power or whether this was something maybe more supernatural, it was never really explained. But then at the end, her house is destroyed by these falling stones. And if you still watch the movie, they shot that scene with the house collapsing inside. They shot where she doesn't really know what's going on. And every so often you'll see like a stone come out from like the side.
Well,
and
the
in fact,
holes look like stones too, the big ceiling chunks.
Because they're supposed to be breaking through the house. And in fact, once she's in the closet, there's this big old stone that bonks her in the head and knocks her out. That's what ultimately knocks her out at the end. And then you see the pit and it's all stones when we have the very ending of the dream sequence. But of course, the reference there is supposed to be that she's a martyr and she's been stoned to death for her sins. Now, what by an angry God or by herself, her own guilt, who knows? But that never made it to the final movie. And because they screwed a couple of reasons. They screwed up shooting it and then they didn't have the budget to do it again. But that's one of the reasons we don't see the original ending that they had conceived with the stones. Which one is better? Like the one that we ultimately got where she just like implodes the house on herself? Or would you guys have preferred to see like some sort of weird martyr symbology at the end?
I personally think you go the martyr symbology because you're putting a lot of religious symbology in through this whole movie, especially from the beginning when you introduce the house and how religious the mother is, and like the idea of like she comes home and like the religious elements that were pristine are now torn away and ripped. Like you're already kind of it was like the Last Supper was so pristine over their dinner table the whole time, and she comes home and now it's ripped. So it's like things are breaking down. And so I really wish that you could have like taken the religious aspect that they had been portraying and put that down, because you explaining that makes more sense to me, because to me, I totally forgot that the house imploded on itself when I was seeing it the second time. And it felt really odd to me because it didn't feel like her energy had lifted to that level again. Like she needed to be into that traumatic moment in the gym, in the dance, that's when she was able to turn and then like destroy the place. But she's like kind of holding her dying mom, and then it starts to happen. It feels like she should be scream like when she was screaming and took the knife out of her mom and then her mom collapsed. That's the moment where I felt like it could have started to happen because her energy was so high. But it's like everything was calming down and then she was surprised that it was happening.
Exactly.
So then that made me think like, well, why is she surprised if she's kind of causing it? Is this something else? Is this God? Is this the devil bringing her down? Like, what is going on here?
And that's exactly to your point about, filmmaking error, is that they shot it with her reacting as though she was afraid and it not her fault. She wasn't doing it. So it made a little bit less sense. Ryan, which ending would you have preferred?
I don't know that I feel strongly that they're that different. I liked the fact that with the house collapsing, it did feel like I took it less as it was collapsing inward and more that it felt like it was sinking into the ground and was like a hell metaphor of like the whole, because they specifically show the foundation sinking at least one or two shots very distinctly. And like, yes, we see the walls caving in too, but the house starts sinking. And then ultimately, to your point, when we eventually see the dream sequence, the house is gone and all that's left is a pile of rubble because it's all descended and they have the whole like burn in hell thing.
Carrie, burn in hell. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so like I liked that aspect. And with the stoning thing, you kind of have to lose that because you can't really have it be stoned and descend into hell. That I feel like those kind of go against each other in some ways. And I think that the fact that she killed so many people, honestly, now that I'm talking about it, I feel like I almost prefer this one because the stoning thing, although cool in concept, like there's no one really to stone her. Like the whole thing with stoning is that it is the townsfolk stoning you, the shame, the martyr, the like you are being punished. And she's killed everyone at this point, including her own mother. There's no one left to stone her. And if it was to be stoned, then we're talking another like a supernatural entity that we're introducing to the equation here. I like the fact that it was more vague, that it kind of felt like she was just being pulled down into hell.
Yeah, but that raises the question, is there an angry God that's mad at her? Right. And then that creates a whole bunch of theological questions as well, and martyrdom, because her mom, she puts her mom in the martyr pose when she stabs her into the wall, right?
Well, it's
she
the
got her
exact
mom
same
up there
pierce points as that statue
of San Sebastian, right? Who was pierced by arrows and lived, but and was ultimately, I think, beaten to death for talking shit to Diocletian, if I remember correctly. But that being said, like it's still her mom ends up in kind of this martyr pose, and then Carrie's the one who's stoned. It all seems so relentlessly unfair that it actually kind of lines up with everything else that happens to her, where she just can't catch a goddamn break. God is just against this poor girl. And it's actually kind of interesting that they cast someone as pretty as Sissy Spacek, because in the book, she's described as being overweight, pimply, not attractive at all.
Interesting.
And they decided to make her actually, this is a girl who just hadn't kept herself up in the movie. So it's an interesting choice there. But again, it's De Palma. He likes looking at pretty ladies. And what about De Palma's filming techniques in this? I mean, you have the split screen, the famous split screen.
Oh, he loves the split screen
in that scene. But he's also got some breathtaking camera moves, as he always does, where the camera moves all over the room and then up in the rafters, and then you see something out there. He's got some great stuff. He's got other shots that are inexplicably terrible. Do you chalk that up do you chalk that up to it being kind of early in his career, or do you chalk it up to the budget or the time constraints, or just him brain farting? What do you think is up with De Palma in this movie?
Man, that's a good question. Can you point out a scene or do you remember a shot where you just thought, well, this shot's just so bad? Oh,
I can.
Ryan's right there.
They sit on that bucket like 3 times for so long, and we're like, we get it. There's a bucket. Like the suspense is the first time it's suspenseful. The second and third time you're like, God, and they like
get on with it.
Exactly, like straight up, because they keep teasing that they're like fucking with the rope. And the rope's jiggling, and the third, I can like literally lay out the I don't remember the girl who's like trying to do the nice things for her. She goes around, she's peeking around Sue.
Yeah.
She's peeking around the corner with her hand on the rope. They show the rope jiggling, but Sue doesn't notice it. Then we go a couple more shots of other stuff, and then the rope's jiggling, and Sue does notice it, and they're still under, for some reason, holding the rope for an eternity of time and jiggling it like they're gonna pull it, but not pulling it. Then Sue notices, she walks out to the front of the stage, the teacher notices, everyone's doing the thing, the ceremony's still going on, the couple under the stairs are having like a thing about who's gonna pull the rope, and then they cut back to the rope a third time and the bucket over the top of them for the third time, and you're like, God, we get it. But they just keep going and going and going.
I am on the other side of that and loved all that.
Really?
Because it felt Hitchcockian a bit. It felt like he was ramping up the tension, and like it just De Palma loves to show just little pieces over and over and over.
De Palma loves to ape Hitchcock. Let's be clear. Yeah,
but like so, like you know, it reminded me a lot of like this was like the precursor to, I don't know if you've seen Snake Eyes, but that whole opening one shot sequence of just like showing you all the tidbits until finally like the big climactic moment that kicks off the movie. But that's what this felt like. It was just like, yeah, it was like, he's just like, I just really liked how he was like, oh, what am I seeing here? We're seeing the shadow of the rope. Like again, though, I really like what he did, but it didn't feel like the tone of the movie. Like first you have this like teenage drama movie, and all of a sudden it's like this noir, heisty feeling sort of moment of like, oh my God, with the tension of the rope, are they going to pull it? Where's it going to happen? So even though I liked it, it still feels slightly out of place too for the, you know, like it's just the tone of it all.
And sometimes I think that he overdoes, like De Palma loves his toys and he loves to do these very showy shots, and sometimes they work and sometimes they don't. Like when they were spinning around on the dance floor. That was mine.
That shot was
that was my I get it. I get it, dude. I get it, dude. Well, because they were spinning that, they were actually standing on a platform that they were spinning one direction, and the camera was spinning the other direction, and they speed up as it goes, so it seems even more dreamlike, whatever. But it's too much. It's too long.
Too fast.
It's too fast.
Why are they? No one dances this fast. This feels so wild.
It's supposed to give a feeling, but the feeling that it gives is nausea.
Yes,
and
the feeling it gives is carnival.
Right. But again, I do think that De Palma, when he deploys his talents correctly, is an incredible director. I mean, you think that the tension is not there for you in this scene, but go watch the end of The Untouchables with the baby. Like that's an incredible deployment of slow motion and like repeating shots. He can do it, but I feel with this movie, he's still finding his way a little bit. But that being said, the pacing, the slow motionness leading up to the pig's blood, and then the just dynamism of everything after the pig's blood falls onto Carrie on the stage is such a great juxtaposition. And this is the first time I watched this movie where the rhythm of that whole sequence worked like a charm for me. The only problem was the come down from it when she's walking away is broken up so badly by that terrible car crash scene that comes out of fucking nowhere and just seems, it seems excessive. It seems unwarranted. Tonally, it just kind of takes a shit on the whole moment. Yeah. But what did you guys think overall for that whole third act? Like, how did it flow for you? Because that's the famous act, right? That's what everyone talks about, the prom sequence. And then she goes home and the whole mom attacks it with the mom hiding behind the door for some reason. Yeah. How was that whole
bath?
Right. Like she's back to, you expect something to happen. No, she's just hiding out back there. Creeper. How did you guys think what did you guys think? The famous third act. How did it work for you overall? Not specifically. Ryan, it's your first time. How did it work for you?
I kind of expected more from it, to be honest. I thought that the fire element was cool. And I like the doors locking was kind of expected, but like
that scene where the fire goes up the wall behind her. Oh,
yes, that I think is the coolest shot. But the thing is, like the fire hose felt kind of cheesy, and I was like, yeah, the fire hose would hurt. Like fire hoses would hurt.
The fire hose look like this. It's so funny.
But also, you're covered in pig's blood.
Someone got hit with that fire. I think it was PJ Souls got hit with the fire hose and burst an eardrum.
Oh God!
Like legit fucked her up. Yeah, I think it was PJ Souls. One of the girls got hit with the fire hose and it fucked her up. So that fire hose is not messing around.
Yeah, well, I mean, fire hoses put out water, and water going at high speeds hurts. So, like, I get that, but like overall, that it felt kind of cheesy, and they sat on it a long time with like how much they do with the fire hose. And also, it's like you have a fire hose that you're psychokinetically controlling. You're covered in pig's blood. You think you would sprinkle some your own way to kind of rinse yourself off or whatever. Like you'd think that at some point that would be a thing that you would do if you're embarrassed, but whatever. So they like do this whole spray thing. They're like, people try and grab the microphone and get electrocuted in the water. It's like, okay, use your brain. And then despite all of that, the whole thing sets on fire. And despite the fire hose raging, the whole place burns down. But to your point, they don't kill the bullies. I think the bullies should have just died in the fire. That would have been much more like, I think that if they had like a really brutal, like caught in the fire, trapped inside moment, that would have been more satisfying for the bullies. And on the flip side, poor Tommy dies, and Tommy didn't do jack. Tommy, I actually want to call Tommy out.
Tommy.
Like, Tommy actually gave it a full shot. Like, he didn't just do the, like, yeah, okay, I'll take her to prom. He was like, I'm actually going to give her, like, a good prom experience and try and, like, make a good evening for her. And I was like, wow, like, okay, I'm actually starting to, like, he's giving it more than a college try. He's actually like, here, let me just do this the right way once. And he still gets murked. And then meanwhile, and then we have to have the whole thing where it's like, in order for them to die, we have to do what was, again, to your point, totally stolen in Stranger Things, chase down the psychokinetic girl and have the car flip over her and do the whole roll off the road.
Dude, can we pour one out for our boy Tommy? What a good dude.
Yeah.
I mean, I finished my beer, but here you go.
That's okay. Tommy got finished too.
What surprised me, there was two things that surprised me before I talk about the ending, I guess, but that I totally forgot that she was researching telekinesis herself in the library. I've totally forgot that she was like trying to figure out herself. That's pretty cool. You know, that's a pretty cool thing. So, and then I thought that Tommy and Sue were all in on it too. For some reason, I thought that everybody was in on it. So like, it was even more heartbreaking to see like Sue just wanted to see a good thing happen. So she like left home, and then poor Tommy's like actually having like a decent time and just wants her to give her a nice time. And then bucket to the head, man.
Well, also,
bucket to the head.
Like Sue the whole time decides she's just going to try and do something nice, and then manages to convince the teacher that it's a real nice thing that she's trying to do, doesn't go to her senior prom, gives up her senior prom to make this happen, shows up, catches on to the whole thing, and the teacher won't fucking hear her out. The teacher starts hauling her out, and you're like, you literally just saw her look under the stairs. Why the hell would she be doing that? And she's like, get out of here. You're not supposed to be here. You don't have a ticket or whatever the hell she said. Like, it doesn't say what she said.
Well, she didn't believe her. She was ready for her to be up to something the entire time. She came over to make sure that Tommy wasn't being a dick. Like, she was waiting for them to snap the trap on her, but she was looking at the wrong shit. That was the problem. She didn't keep her eye on the prize because she didn't know where Chris was. Right.
But also, if you think that they're trying to snap a trap and you see the girl looking under the stage, maybe go look under the stage when she was looking at what she was looking at, see what the plot is.
She was going to get there. She was too busy kicking her out. By the time she turned back around, the pig's blood had fallen. It was too late.
That's
the timing.
Right.
That's right.
I was like,
gotcha.
That teacher, man.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, dude. And that fucking Chris, man. I mean, Is it time for us to do our newly minted Woodhouse That Guy Award? Woodhouse Award. Fuck that guy. Now renamed after Guy Woodhouse from Rosemary's Baby. Fuck that guy award. And this is fuck that girl. Nancy Allen, you scumbag.
Agreed.
Yeah.
You little trollop. Getting John Travolta to do your bidding by giving him a parking lot blowjob. Oh, Billy, I really hate Carrie White.
She talks a lot for doing. Her words are very clear for the fact that she's supposed to be doing things with her mouth.
That was the joke I was trying to make there. Was the entire time she was like, "Oh, Billy, I really hate Carrie White." Her enunciation is incredible with a cock in her mouth. Like, it's absolutely spectacular.
Well, also that whole scene leading up to that moment is horrendous. They're so toxic. It's so like, you're like, what the fuck are these two doing? Like,
the toxicity is the problem you have with that.
They're just they're insane.
They are insane together. I love the car ride of them cruising and the cops and
this is the thing.
Oh my gosh, they're horrible.
But you were talking about it being a comedy. They thought they were comedic characters. Nancy Allen did not know that her character was the villain until she saw the final cut of this movie.
Way. Really?
She thought that they were supposed to just be goofballs. And she didn't realize how evil her character was until she saw the final cut.
Wait, but what about
that's bad writing.
Did she not read the script, or like did the bucket and people on fire?
I'm just saying, that's what she said in interviews. She's like, I thought we were just goofballs. I didn't realize we were that evil. But, I like Brian De Palma as a director, so I married him 3 years later. So, hey, everything worked out okay.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's throw a little tidbit of trivia out there. But can we all agree that Nancy's character,
car
Chris,
scene was an audition?
Yeah.
Nice one. Nice.
Zing. All right. So that was an easy F That Guy award. But then now it's time for something a little bit more difficult. And that's This Is Why You Died. It's the name of the show. Wow. It's why we're here to talk about why someone died in this movie. And we got a lot of good ones in the old Carrie. So, Ryan Ross Live, it's your movie. Why don't you go first? Tell us why someone died in Carrie.
Well, I've got two options here. I don't know which one's safe, so I'm just gonna pick one, I guess.
Safe?
Well, I don't want to take your guys's. Everybody deserves the right to This Is Why You Died.
Never stopped you before. Come on.
I am going to go with the mom.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Look,
fair enough.
The mom's got her trauma. Clearly, she's got some really suppressed religious shit going on, and the whole husband thing was very messy. But your trauma is your trauma, and it is not fair of you to put that on your daughter for her entire fucking life. And then also, when you go cuckoo and decide to put candles all over the house and dress in your little nightgown with your big old knife, maybe, just maybe, aim when you are stabbing your daughter in the back, rather than stabbing her in her, like, in the middle of her back, like her hip, like basically the middle of her waistline. Like
she was in the middle of a religious reverie. You could tell she was fired up because she'd made the house out to be a Sisters of Mercy video set. She was hiding behind a door for an hour while her girl like took a bath. She's obviously not in her right mind. She's not all there.
Look, if you're going to wait an hour for her to wash the blood off, maybe aim the 6 extra inches you need to make sure it's a kill shot, because what are you doing?
Let's go further. Then don't like traipse down the stairs in like this kind of ghostly way and be like, la, la, hello, daughter, I'm here. I'm going to waltz over to you with my knife. La, 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 la.
Although, I am going to point out that we joked way at the beginning of this show when we were talking about how I picked Psycho as a slasher film. What sound do they use for the knife?
I'm glad you brought that up. I totally forgot, but I wanted to bring that up. That's so weird to me.
Do you know why they chose that sound? Because Bernstein was supposed to do the soundtrack for this movie, and he died before he could do it. That was their homage to him.
Wow.
Bernard Herrmann, excuse me.
I'm going to kill you with a knife sound.
Maybe this is one of the reasons why it became that. Because like they used that sound for this as an homage to him, and also because Brian De Palma is basically to Hitchcock what Chris is to John Travolta in this movie. Mm-hmm. But that being said, yeah, that's where that reek came from. But they also use it for like her telekinesis with the windows.
Anytime she had powers.
Yeah. So it wasn't just the knife.
I know, but that knife, but it became the evidence that I always submit for that it became the stereotypical knife sound is that OJ made the joke using that sound at one point with a reporter after all the OJ stuff. And what does he do? He pretends to have a knife and goes, because that's the thing.
Hey,
that's
I'll
pop
tell
culture.
You, growing up in the 80s, it was already pop culture then. You wanted to do someone stabbing in the 80s, it was reep. Dan March Madness. Wow. It's a thing. Tell us why someone died. in Carrie, Dan?
Well, this is something that I need to be better at too, but you really need to remember people's names. So you can't call Carrie Cassie, because then you're just going to get electrocuted at the prom, man. As soon as she was like, "Oh, you forgot my name," spraying you, and you are gone. So,
that's one she held on to, sprayed him and electrocuted him. Like, you remember, you're gonna know my name now, Mr. Principal.
Oh,
that's
To be
right.
fair, he was told it 3 or 4 times.
3 times.
Yes. And kept going. I mean, at a certain point, he's doing it on purpose.
Correct.
Right?
Yeah.
That's a good one.
Just straight up doesn't care.
That's a really good one. That's absolutely why that principal got it, because he just refused to learn her name. It's the name of the movie, sir. Did you read the script?
No, he didn't. He's a
Come
Cassie.
on, man. I'm in that
movie.
I'm in a new William King movie called Cassie. I think I lived to the end. I'm not sure. I mean, we've made the joke too many times now, the blowjob joke, but come on. Travolta, you're willing to kill pigs, rig stuff for hours for a girl that calls you stupid on the regular. And then let her
He
drive.
smacked her too, man. He smacked her in the face.
They're smacking each other around.
They're
like
so bad.
There's a lot of and teachers are smacking students. It's all over the place, man.
There's a lot of smackage going, and not a lot of reciprocity. Like, everyone's taking their smacks. The only one who gives any back is Carrie, interestingly enough. But Travolta, he's so out of his mind because of, I don't know what kind of game Nancy Allen has, but she did go marry the director. But she's able to get this guy with one little car soiree to do all of this to fuck up Carrie White and then give her the keys to his car. And then she goes and drives into the telekinetic girl and kills him. That's why you died, Travolta. That's why you died.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
He put his dick in crazy.
He did. And that's I was about to make a terrible joke about Scientology, and I'm not going to leave that one the hell alone.
Well, we did that in the last episode when we were talking about cults. We missed that with Rosemary and Baby.
Oh, yeah. No, that's true. We're in LA. We got to watch ourselves.
That was the misinformation angle.
That's exactly. Oh, my goodness. Golden Dawn, please don't sue. All right. Well, it's time. Scully Awards. Scully Awards. It's time to rate Carrie, the original Carrie from 1976. Ryan, you're up once again. It was your choice. I'm very curious to hear what you thought of this all-time classic.
Guys, I didn't really like this movie.
I'm
not gonna be. I'm gotta be honest. Like,
wow,
there were elements of it that I see why they were influential. I definitely saw why this movie's referenced a lot. I saw how there's a lot of callbacks. I think the mom we talked about is like one of the strongest characters in the movie. I think that Tommy does a great job. I think that pretty much everyone else sucks, like, as a character. And then also, just within the movie, there's not a lot that I think is very great from most of the performances. And it meanders a ton in the middle, and the editing was driving me wild. It was repeatedly taking me out. It was making me ask questions about not the movie, but the production, and it was distracting. I can't give it above a 7.
Wow.
So I'm going to give it a 7. I think that it's definitely lasted in terms of like influence, but I think it squarely sits where it was like decades ago. And I think, frankly, it's going to be left there other than the influence that's left behind, but it won't be continuing with its own legacy.
So now this is a question, because one of the things that I've kind of always postulated is Carrie is an impossible piece to modernize because of the nature of proms, the nature of like cell phones and everything, and how everything kind of worked with this without like radically changing the storyline. Are you excited at all for Mike Flanagan trying to make it into a miniseries?
I am, because, well, first off, I had heard about that prior to watching it for this.
Sure.
And I'm excited not only because it's Flanagan, but also like Matthew Lillard's attached. I think Matthew Lillard's great, whatever. He has spoken specifically about how this is a modernization. Yeah. And they will be taking a modern angle, and they're going to kind of be bringing in more of the cyberbullying angle, which I do think will dovetail very nicely into the theme here.
That's really smart. That's smart.
Because cyberbullying is A, so prevalent with kids these days, but B, also one of those things that you can't really escape It follows you home. It's the internet is forever. And so I do think that there is a way that it can be done well, and I'm curious to see if they manage to do it, and I am hopeful. But honestly, it wasn't. I don't think that the bullying was the issue that I had with the movie due to its age. I think it was more the pacing, the storytelling style, and honestly, just the lack of a lot of content or events or progress in the middle of the movie that kind of kills it for me.
Wow. Interesting. Which is what I think a miniseries would add, is all of the high school dynamics and more of that. And I agree. The cyberbullying angle could be great, could be terrible, but I think it's something that they need to talk about more. Shout out RIP Hana Kimura. But that being said, I'm going to give my rating. I personally was coming into this remembering Carrie as being about a 7.5. I think I respect where it stands in the horror pantheon, but it never really blew me away. And I felt kind of as you did, that it was a little too piecemeal and I didn't really connect with it. And it's funny, this time I connected with it so much more. For me, weirdly enough, even all of the tonal shifts and changes in it, I was riding straight through. I don't know what I was locked into, but it for something felt consistent to me, even though I could tell that it was shifting at some times. There felt like there was a central core of something that it was pulling me along with it. And maybe it was just the era that it was in, or something, I definitely didn't feel like I was going to raise my rating until I hit the third act. And I'm not going to lie, this time watching the third act, last time I couldn't stand the split screen. I felt like it was directorial masturbation. This time I knew my eyes knew right where to go, and it fit so well. And it created the exact sense of excitement that I wanted from that scene. And it ended up making it much more dynamic. And for whatever reason, Sissy Spacek's performance in that scene and afterwards, just the way she was holding her arms and the way that she was standing. She didn't take a bath for 3 days, by the way. She was in the outfit for 3 days so that it would look consistent. No shit. She's spectacular. And it hit me so much harder this time than any time before. And even the confrontation with her mom at the end, even though I felt a little bit like it didn't, the pacing wasn't quite right, it still hit me so much harder than the last time I saw it. I've got to give this movie, I'm struggling between an 8 and an 8.5. I think I'm going to go for an 8.5. I loved the third act of this movie so much more than the last time I saw it. It worked. Maybe I'll change it down next time I see it, but man, it hit me really hard this time. I loved it. It connected with me. Dan, March of Madness, you were the final say. You've got a 7 and an 8.5. Where do you land with your Scullies for Carrie?
I'm sort of in the middle of both of you guys. So I was, kind of also starting off as a 7.5, but I'm gonna jump it up and I'm gonna be at an 8. Because also this upon second viewing, I think that the final act worked even better for me. Yeah. I think that I that's what you always remember. So I like that aspect of it, but I think I was able to focus more on all the pieces that it was putting together. And I loved, the little elements and seeing, one side of friends trying to be nice to her while this whole other tragedy is kind of basically unfolding in pieces. I really love what they did with the mom. I wish they had explored that a bit more. So to Ryan's point, I really feel like that middle part just kind of meanders, and there's a lot of things that could have been accomplished in there to help build characters more. And so again, how we're talking about Flanagan, I really think Flanagan's going to bring that out because he's very good about exploring characters in his miniseries. So that's why I knock it down is there's some pacing issues. But overall, just, really strong, very influential horror movie. And
Super.
That finale is just fantastic.
Super influential. And it's actually, for the book, it's kind of credited with bringing about the modern horror genre in books. It wasn't popular in the 60s and started up after the book Carrie was very successful. So very influential, very important. But there you have it. A 7 from Ryan, an 8 from Dan, an 8.5 from me, which I might have to go back down to an 8. I don't know. I'm right between the two. It's really good, though. I liked it so much more this time than the last time I saw it. But that's Carrie for you, everybody. We didn't think it was the best movie of all time, but we certainly acknowledge that it is influential and it had a lot to do with a lot of things that you see today, either horror movies or even TV shows like Stranger Things, which loves taking all things from old movies and trying to make them new.
All the 80s. It's an homage to the 80s. You like the 80s.
And the 70s. I like the 80s and the 70s. I don't like them being pillaged, dug up and taken and made into something else that's cheaper.
Honored.
Sorry, are we gonna talk about Stranger Things? We're gonna do that right now. We're gonna get into this.
We can.
I'd rather talk about the fact. I'd rather talk about the fact, Ryan, that you don't have a prompt anymore. You had your prompt taken away from you by using it on this show. That means, there's the Avengers bucket. In the meantime, Dan, I'm gonna give mine in a second. I'm sitting on deceit.
Ooh, deceit.
I'm gonna tell you what that is in a second. But Dan, what are you sitting on right now?
I'm sitting on cook. I still don't know what direction to go.
Oh my goodness! Well,
but
you've already had cannibalism, so I'm curious to see what you do with that. Ryan has gone in there. He's picked something out of his bucket of the beast.
Oh my goodness!
Oh, and he's looking. He's smiling. He's holding it up. What do we have there? Focus.
Focus.
Oh, it was
focusing.
Chest.
Oh, I know exactly what you should
pick,
but you won't because you don't like it.
Chest.
For anybody who hasn't listened to previous episodes, Dan would like me to pick Alien.
Oh, that would be such an angry episode. I don't know, man. You could probably pick Carrie again. There's certainly enough exposed chests at the beginning of this movie that you could have done it again.
I've got chest, so I'll have to see. But I could go out there. I could get like a chest, like a box, like something in a chest.
Right.
That's true.
There's options, but we'll have to see what I come up with.
There's what was it? Creep Show 1 or 2 where they had the chest underneath the stairs. 1, wasn't it? Creep Show 1. The chest under the stairs, the critter in it. Oh, come on.
Oh, yes.
Yes, come on.
That's good. That's a good chest.
Right? Or just our goal for the dead man's chest. Something like that,
Oh, we're going to watch Pirates of the Caribbean.
I mean, Gore Verbinski is a horror director first and foremost. I'm just saying. That's the reason why those movies are good. The man knows his horror. But that being said, all right, so we're sitting on chest and cook.
Ghost stories, Miss Turner.
Chest and cook.
Oh, you're in one. Come on. How did they make that good? And yet they did.
It's so good.
Miraculous.
It is such a good movie.
You know why? Because it's a mainstream action movie with horror elements.
Yeah.
It's got Cthulhu in the second one, for God's sake. Come on. How could it not be good? All right, so I've got a really tough one, guys. I've got to do Deceit, and as I've kind of hinted to our patrons in our accented edition last week, I don't know what to pick. I've got so many options here, and I'm looking down them. A lot of them are classics. A lot of them are a little older.
How many do you have?
And so I've got some new ones. On my list to choose from 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Lucky number 13.
Okay, so then I have a proposition for you.
Oh.
Well, okay, I'm going to listen to it, but I think I might have chosen one based on where I was going.
And if you've chosen, then my proposition's...
But let me hear your proposition first.
I was going to say cut one and then roll a D12 because you have a full dice set. But...
I do?
Yeah, the dice set came with a full set. You have one of everything. So you have a D12 in there.
Do I?
But
I have. So Ryan gave us all.
Oh.
All right.
But
so
if you've chosen one, you could just choose. I mean, was trying to be helpful, but if you've already chosen, I don't want to step on your toes.
Well, what I was going to say was, I mean, that might be something I do later because I didn't know I had all those
there's
dice
more than one in there, and there.
Well, I mean, I can tell there's heavy. I didn't realize
4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 20.
Oh my God! I'm ready to play a whole campaign, aren't I?
Yes, you are.
All right. Well, great. I think I might come back to that because one of the things I was going to say is I've got some here that are old. I have some classics. I have some new ones. We've just done two older ones in a row. I feel like we should bring it at least more modern, like last 20 years. And that cuts half this list off.
Okay.
And Deceit's tough because like how literal do I want to be with this? I think what I'm going to do is do a movie that I haven't seen in a long time.
Oh,
well, pretty much since it came out, but it's still recent. But it's a fantastic movie where things are just not what you think they are. It's a mystery. And I think I'm going to have to go with Autopsy of Jane Doe. And the reason for that will become clear when you watch the movie, but it's super creepy. It is a super creepy, phenomenally paced movie. I'm very much looking forward to discussing it on the show. So Autopsy, that's what it's going to be.
Ryan,
Autopsy of Jane Doe.
So jealous of you, Ryan, because you get to experience this for the first time.
For the first time. I know. Can I find the D12 fast enough? I want to see what I would have gotten.
Do it. While you do that, I'm going to remind everybody that, as a reminder, I have a kill switch. I am the killer. I can either slash a I'm not going to. I'm just reminding everybody. Ian got very tense for a moment. I'm just reminding everybody so that we have opportunities and that we don't forget. I have a kill, so I can either steal a prompt, steal a movie choice, or veto a prompt or a movie choice and put them back in. And then Dan over there is the hex holder and still has a hex that he has to throw on a series of episodes, which, Dan, we're pretty far into the season. You've only got a little time left. So you gotta...
Oh, man. I gotta make a choice soon then. I gotta figure out this hex.
And Ryan, don't threaten me with your slash.
I ain't threatening. I'm just
saying, you're killer. You killer.
I'm lurking in the shadows. I'm lurking in the shadows, waiting for my time to strike. We're 15 episodes into a 25-episode season. We have to make sure that we remember our things.
I'm just saying, if you want to pull my trigger, you can pull my trigger, and I'll find another movie like that, man. I'll be right up on it.
So did you roll? What would you have gotten?
No, let's find out. I would have gotten.
Let's find out.
What is that? A 7? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I would have gotten Saint Maud.
Oh, interesting.
Also a very good one. You haven't seen it?
No, I think I tried to watch it once and did not finish it.
My follow-up question is, which one of the 13 did you cut in order to make the 12 work?
Autopsy of Jane Doe.
Oh, well, that makes sense.
Yeah, but it wouldn't have been that even if I had that. Yeah, it would have been if I had not cut it. If I'd left it in, it would have been The Lodge. Also a great movie about deceit, its own way. All wonderful movies, but none of which we will watch because we're watching Autopsy of Jane Doe. Damn it, that's what we're doing next week.
Yet.
So what?
Yeah.
Don't you threaten me.
None of which that we'll watch yet.
Oh, yes, exactly.
I'm not threatening you. Why are you
no, scaring me. I'm waiting for you to come out of the shadows like you ree. I knew it. Just waiting.
Me with a pocket knife.
I used this on the Boy Scouts. Dan March, Amanda's, tell them where they can find our show, please.
Beacons.ai/TIWYD pod is where you can find all things social. You can stream us, you can listen to us, you can watch us on YouTube, you can go to our store and buy this beanie,
merch,
and you can check out and support us on. Oh, look at Ryan in his shirt. You can buy one of those amazing shirts. We would love to see that on you guys. And you can also join our Patreon as well there too.
What's up with that, Ryan?
Our Patreon has a ton of cool perks. We get extra bonus content. You get an extended edition of the podcast. You get discount on merch. You get a shout out if you're a dedicated benefactor, which is our top tier. Speaking of which, let's shout out CG.
CG. Thank you, CG.
Yeah. Thank you, CG. And thank you to our other patrons as well for supporting the podcast and helping us grow and expand the realm of what we can do. We have some podcast checkpoints of if we get a certain amount of patrons, it unlocks certain content that we create or improvements that we can make to the show. So all of you who choose to support, thank you so much. And all of you who just choose to listen as well, we appreciate you just as much. And we really thank you guys all for being here and listening with us.
Absolutely.
And enjoying our takes.
Tell your friend. Much. And if you are a patron, you can kill us sometime later this month. So sign up for Patreon so you can join up with our live stream of Dead by Daylight. And I hate having left this to the end of the show. I feel bad. I should have mentioned this earlier, but we were on a roll. But I got to do another quick shout out here to my compadre from Canada, who is named literally after the movie that we just watched for this episode. Carrie, Canadian Carrie, shout out. I just found out this year that she was actually literally named after this movie.
Wow.
By her parents.
Carrie, eh?
They loved it that much?
A choice. Yeah. I'm like, that's you're rolling the dice on that one.
I really like that girl that murdered everybody.
Right,
and her parents
killed her parents. Yeah, let me name my kid after that. But Carrie is a lovely person. I was actually just got a text from her earlier that she spent New Year's with some celebrities and was able to text Eddie Vedder. Or call Eddie Vedder. She didn't kill him. I'll put it that way. So good on them. They didn't make their own destiny. But that being said, wow, all love to CG, all love to Canadian Carrie, all love to all of our patrons, and all of you guys, all of our dedicated listeners, and everyone who's watching on YouTube right now. Mwah, mwah, mwah. Welcome to the new year. Welcome to 2026. Here we are. We're off to the races again, and the show's only going to get better. So with that said, we will see you next week when we'll be watching Autopsy of Jane Doe. But for Ryan Ross Live, for Dan March and Madness, I am Sir Ian Dangerous. Thank you very much. We'll see you next time right here on
This is why you die.